major job cuts been directly hit to the mid-career and senior level profiles. So what is happening is whether they are not doing upskilling or they just settle down with their own promotions and other things and not doing investment on any upskilling technical part, which is badly affected. Because comparing to the job cuts, the mid-career and senior level is getting affected comparing to freshers. So that's what I just want to understand, whether there is upskilling is happening or not in that particular sector.
So that's a very good question. First, let me also compliment both Abilesh and Jasmine for the lovely thoughts for the initial questions what you made. Actually, every question is actually a takeover from the previous answers of a couple of others in terms of the discussion. So let me appreciate both of them for that. And see, the point is, if you take the information technology, we'll centric there because that's where most of the layoffs is happening. Upskilling as a manager or a mid-level manager, especially if you look at like an IT company, the layers, if you look at from the bottommost, like an entry engineer, up to the topmost as the MD or CEO, you will see as good as some 11 or 12 layers actually. Yes. So if you look at the lowest of management to the level of just about touching the beginning of management to the touching of middle management to the senior middle management to the management, then to the senior management, then the senior most of management. See, like a lot of what you call like slabs are there in terms of these levels. I being an IT guy, I can tell you my experience here. If I had to be blunt here, to a certain level, a certain population does take it for granted because incidentally, the question fits me so well because I was heading talent transformation for Wipro Infotech, and seriously, I can tell you, a lot of people take interest to skill themselves. There are some people also miss out. Reasons could be project pressure. Reasons could be probably they are convincing that they will go to the next level with the performance status. But as I told you in my previous answer, IT is something where you cannot stay with the same attributes in terms of understanding the job through your education, through the skill that you built, through the technology, what you already understood. Either the version has to change or either you need to add up some more repertoire of technology so that you can survive. Unfortunately, the transition from you being a coder at the lowest level to the next level senior engineer where you try and get into a touch of little bit of management and then you get into something like a project lead where you have to have 30% of management skills or 20% of management skills, where unfortunately this is because you still are in the mind of coding algorithms and all this. Fabulous. I'm so happy that your background, you're not going to leave. But if you are to transition to the company in terms of managing people, which is the most difficult thing, technology learning for an engineer is easy, but managing a person is extremely difficult. It is not possible. Human psychic is very difficult to understand. Mm-hmm. What happens? Suddenly they are out of the woods in terms of this algorithm and all this, they get stuck. And either few of them perish, a few of them survive, and that is where they get alerted. They know I need to capture myself in terms of doing some PMP, in terms of project management certification, or might be some other certification, whatever it is in the IT technology space. What happened? This slightly gets them on a backseat in terms of what they stand at, say, 2023, or something could have been done in 2022 March. The guy is waking up at 2023 or 22 September or March 2023. I can tell you once again, gone are the days of 1.5 years of a software which is surviving. Today, you don't know, you wink at your eyes, something is happening.
Correct.
Somebody told me ChatGPT. Seriously, I'm a guy who's got reasonable amount of knowledge about things. I'm not a techie guy, just for Abilesh and Jasmine's information here, because you know me reasonably well. The point of contention here is ChatGPT, somebody said, I said, where the hell I've not heard this. See, look at the amount of information available in the market and where these people had to be. And during my training days, this is what I tell people. I put it on the board, the pyramid. You are the lowest pyramid. Please understand the pyramid ultimately at some stage squeezes you. When you get squeezed on the pyramid, please understand it is not your technical skills which are going to win you. It is your managerial skills. The guy sitting on the top of the pyramid is a CEO or an MD. The guy is slightly less a GM or a general manager, delivery head, project manager, program manager. Come down. The management skills out of the job that you're doing from what you entered the IT skill company to what you are taken at some stage, he has missed out. Obviously, the company wants managers. Also, Kumar, it's become highly mandated now that the IT segment also to understand that when they had one manager for managing 10 people, today the IT company want to divide it, segment one manager need to manage 50 people.
Hmm.
It's about balancing, because as a manager, what do you do? Put the RR. If you look at that, there's a huge gap in terms of what you're doing with 10 people as management and what you're doing the additional 40 people are going to give it. Which means that you as a
No,
person have to
I
have
agree, Mr. Madhavan, but it is completely, I agree on the stakeholder management, our face value, or deliveries with the team, our resource management. It is all crucial. But management may not be doing a job good so just because of that only, no, because if they don't have a project, obviously technically, if I don't have a project on Java or project on .NET, I will obviously do my job cuts, irrespective of whether he's handling good clients or handling resource management, all that. Maybe that's the perspective, but I think here job cuts is more on towards the technical needs, whether it is in demand or not. That's the question arises right now. And Jasmine, my question to you is completely different, because here every company, like enterprise companies, MNC companies, they are not doing a hiring just I'm thinking yesterday and today I'm hiring somebody. It's a process, correct? So where I have to plan month ago on how much resources I require and how many interviews I have to undergo, like 3 interviews, 4 interviews for IT companies. And then I take a resource out of all other available candidates and give a best price to the candidate and then take it. It's a very hard effort in the entire process. And now what I'm doing is a mass layoff, 10,000 people, 20,000 people. I mean, is it downsizing or right sizing, or is it because of no business they are just laying off somebody just like that?
Okay. There are two or three questions, if I understood from your point. Firstly, as Madhwan sir has put some over here, which will cover this part as well. From developer to management level, right? That person should upskill themselves for that level. And if that person is not doing, and whenever the recession is coming, right? And you have to choose from two people: the person who is really doing good with their team, the person who is not good, having a good behavior with their team. To whom you are gonna choose? Definitely the person which is like doing good. So upskilling is required at every level. And as you said, there are n number of reasons involved. Firstly, as we said, 20,000 jobs has been cut down. So for example, there is a 2 or 3 cases can come. Firstly, like if you have remembered, we are using COBOL language, right? Person are those who are expert in COBOL or mainframe, but that project has been closed. Either they can upskill themselves. If they are on benches, definitely they get laid off. So when we are on the bench in a company and we are like, okay, that we are getting salary enough, why we need to upskill ourselves, right? That is the biggest problem in big MNCs or corporate level. You have to upgrade themselves, right? And once you have that mindset, or you can say that right mindset to learn more, and you can ask your manager or your leads, can you please give me some sideline project so that your visibility will be shown to the management level, na? And if you're sitting back and not doing any kind of work, then how the person will know that you are good for the company or not? So this could be the reason they are getting laid off. And as you are asking now, coming back to your question, why it's happening? As COVID was there. For example, I guess Abilesh has taken the question from the Amazon perspective. So take that example. That time to support the operation of the company, because everything, even I was ordering my all groceries from the Amazon, right? So what happened? They need more manpower. So once the COVID situation has been changed. People perspective has been changed. Definitely, either the new project should be there. The management has to think on that way, or otherwise, definitely the person who are less performant, they can be laid off. These are two things. So we can handle these things in a different manner. Yes, it's depend upon management to management again, and it's in their perspective. Or definitely there is a huge investors pressure. You can say that these days they are asking for the revenues. And
Yes.
I was a huge fan of Rajiv Talureja. He was telling in his one video or interview, he simply said, it's a matter of the fact is this, you guys are wrong. He simply put the finger towards the entrepreneurs or MNC's management, because you guys are wrong. Because that moment when you was hiring, you have done the reckless hiring to showcase your evaluation of the companies. So that could be the another burning issue for this kind of thing. So now this layoff is just to reset the market. And I can share you my own perspective. I was into a gaming industry before that, before coming in this coaching and all. So that moment when I saw having a 2 or 3 years of experience, the person is asking me 70,000 rupees in hand. And if I can see senior person was working on that 60,000 rupees, how could I hire that person? Because what happened, other gaming sector who is getting funding from the investors, they're like, okay, you want to take this thing? Come, I will give you this much of package. So this kind of situation definitely ends up with the layoffs. So right now it's coming up with the IT sector. When this shift to another sector, now we will see, okay, now gaming is like very much booming. So this thing gonna happen again for that sector as well. So layoff is just a symptoms. So we have to understand whenever we are doing hiring, we have to take care of many things. So we should not like, okay, we have a money, we can invest it up in any ways. So that's my point of view on that part. With all this example, it's a right sizing. It's not a downsizing, it's a right sizing. We have to set our market again. So that's really important. And we have to be prepared. As Madhavan sir has said, now chat GPT is coming, right? Due to the AI, 12,000 jobs will definitely gonna abolished. That's for sure. Like you can say the content writer job is going to happen in coming I can see in a few years it will be abolished.
That was actually
sure.
a big blow for our content writing industry itself.
Definitely we need a content writer. People are not ready to accept that this could happen. So that will also giving a problem, like upscaling thing and all. You have to accept the technology has been changing, and we have to evolve along with that. And if we can stick on same thing, we cannot grow. So these things will definitely add on to the right sizing of the market. You can say to a layoffs, downsizing, whatever the name you want to give, you can give it. It's a time to see this kind of stuff with the right perspective, not with the same, okay, why it's happening. We need to understand the root cause, not to like, okay, blaming these things are happening and around. Now it's time has flew up. Recession has hit already. Jobs has been gone. What we can do next? So question is coming in this way, I guess.
Okay, making sense. Mr. Madhavan, you have a point here?
Yeah, see, in continuation to what Jasmine has said, that down the line, just take this recession out of our mind for time being, even though I know pretty well the topic for a day of discussion is on, especially in terms of the IT. It's going to be highly getting into contractual type of work. It's not going to be any more employment. One of the days, after some time, it's going to be more contractual. Okay, you are an AI specialist. Okay, I want you. I'll give you the job for 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's more like you have the skill. The question what you asked in terms of upskilling, definitely it's going to have a huge validity. And I was saying that probably I'm not sure about the time footage in terms of 5 years or 10 years down the line, where It's going to be more contractual in terms of job offerings. Like suppose if you're a niche skill guy, but in the next 2-3 years itself, it's more like you will take some 6 months you've been hired on the project up to the level what is needed. Once it's over, then you get another project, you take another project yourself, more like your own running or freelancing type, or more like a company. So effectively, you as a person on any given day, if you're not having a project, you are on a layoff status. So it's going to the employment industry itself it's going to go on a niche skill at least in terms of contractual basis.
Okay.
Contractual.